Never worry again about scratches or blemishes on your epoxy resin. Resin just got a new best friend. This stuff. It's going to save you time, money and stress. Don't panic. I got you. Right, we are back. Picture this. You've spent a lot of time on a piece of work. You demold it. It's stunning, but the mold has got an imperfection. Or maybe you've chucked an old piece in a drawer somewhere where you've been rummaging around, it's scratched the resin, and you know, you have to then sand it down or top coat it or polish it by buying some expensive epoxy polish. Now, you know me guys, I love an experiment. I was digging around in my kitchen and I came across this stuff, the pink stuff it's called. Now this is super cheap in the UK, not sure about the US. I think it's available. I've seen some US creators using this stuff for cleaning their kitchen, etc. But can we use this to polish this? Now I have heard previously somewhere, I can't remember where, that a product called Sif, which is another cleaning product in the UK, it used to be called Jif, but they changed the name. I don't know why, to Sif. But can we use this to get rid of this? And I also want to see if I can, maybe I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I just want to test an area on a matte mold to see if this will bring this up to a gloss shine. We're also going to see if it works on like tarnished hardware that you might have lying around, because a lot of it does go a bit icky. I mean, this is an old one that I've had in my drawer for a long time. This is a newer one, but it still has a bit of yellowing on the back. I want to see if that works, and also on this bangle that's gone a bit yellowy. But yeah, let's see what this stuff can do. I think what I'm going to do is scuff this up a bit more, just so it's a bit more noticeable on camera. I mean, you can see that is scratched, and it's a shame. I've had to do that to such a nice piece of Petri art. So I give it a shake. This was left by a previous tenant in the kitchen cupboard. So I'm just going to pour some of that. I've only got kitchen towel. I think it would be best to use a microfiber cloth. It will kind of impregnate the cloth. You could then put that into a bag, seal it, and then kind of just use it when and as you need it. But I'm just going to use that over the surface. Circular motions. We just see. It contains like a really fine grit, so I can't see it not working. But what I'm going to do, because you don't want to stare at my hand going round in circular motions for however long this takes, I'm going to go into a bit of a speed up version. That was only 1 minute sped up, and you can already see a huge difference in that scratching. There's still some visible, but after just 1 minute of doing that, compared to sanding the piece down, using more resin, and the worry that it's not going to be perfect once we've put on that glaze coat, or if you're doing it with epoxy, you've got to protect the back, you've then got to glaze it, you've then got to wait for it to cure. After just 1 minute of doing circular motions with a couple of drops of this stuff, and already we're seeing a huge difference. Guys, that is incredible. I'm going to keep going. I think just around this area here is the worst. So that was an additional 2 minutes. So in total, I've done 3 minutes of rubbing. Stop it. I mean, look at that. I don't really need to go any further, but I could if I wanted to. There's no scratching. Maybe some fine scratching. But I tell you, the issue probably is that I'm using kitchen paper, which can scratch resin anyway. So I think a softer cloth is definitely a must. I haven't got any in my studio, but I don't need to show that because I'm proving that this experiment is working 100%. Okay, let's move on. I'm really happy with that. Now I want to see, I mean, this is going to take some work. It's not ideal for something like this. I would rather sand that and definitely top coat it. But I want to see if I can just make maybe an area here shiny. Right, so that I've done that equally 3 minutes also. I tell you what, it's not great for the hands, but if you're just doing one piece, you know, at a time in your spare time, you're just sitting there watching telly or something, you can see it's definitely working on that. Now, if I use my rotary tool with my polishing pad, I could also do that, but this stuff I think would help. Look at that. So even like an old coaster you've got lying around, could have been in your drawer for a year or so, scratched up. Instead of taking the time of sanding it and top coating it, just use that. And it is honestly, I think that 2 bottles of this on Amazon UK are about £5 for 2 500ml bottles. I've looked at prices of actual resin polishing creams, and they are ranging between $10 for a small pot to £40 I found was the most expensive one, which is about, I don't know, what is it, 50 US dollars, just under 50 US dollars. Don't waste your money. This stuff's working. Right, let's try the hardware. I want to see what this comes out like after just a minute. But what I'm going to try this time is applying it directly to this. Then I'm going to speed it up. That's incredible. After 1 minute, it's going to struggle because there's dimples, but if I took a bit more time, I mean, that is pretty crazy. Why is my phone doing that focus thing again? But it really does. Look at that. Compared to that, with just a few rubs. So there you go. It also works on your hardware. I wonder if it would work on silver and gold also. I might have to try my wedding ring. That is made of silver. But obviously, I don't want to recommend doing that just in case you ruin an important piece of jewellery. We just stick with resin for now. I'll see you come in the comments in a couple of days. I've ruined my wedding ring by cleaning it right using that stuff. It's your fault. Yeah. But look, the difference after just a couple of minutes. Right, I'm going to do the bangle, but I'll do that one quickly off camera. So just after not even a minute, I've done this side but left this side, just so you can see the difference on camera. It's pretty phenomenal. There it is after a couple of minutes. You know the way my brain works. I start with an experiment sometimes, and it just goes crazy. Sometimes I just don't know where to stop. I'm wondering if, I don't think it will work, but I think I need to try it. I wonder if we could polish say a damaged mold, a silicone mold which maybe has lost its shine, and it's slightly matte. I need to find one, and I think I'm gonna try. The lighting is going to be a bit of a pain in the backside, but you can see, and again I'm using tissue which scratches the mold. I may try and use my finger because that's not going to be abrasive, but just to show you that that's not, you know, just stuck on there. That is actual blemishes inside my mold. Now if this works, this is going to be a breakthrough. But what I need you to do is really focus on this pink stain here and this area here that you can see, because that's the area I'm going to be mainly working on, because I want you to see a difference if there is one. So focus on this stain and this patch here. Okay, that's been 3 minutes. I tried to swap hands, but I'm a right hand, and I found it quite difficult, I'm not gonna lie, to go in circular motions with my left for some reason. I'm gonna go and wash this properly. It's safe to wash this stuff down the sink. Right, so did it make a difference? I can still see it's still there. Maybe I should have done the whole thing, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it has worked, because it's an abrasive, and obviously anything you use on a silicone mold is going to scratch it. It's like a compound, isn't it? It's rubbing compound. So yeah, but I mean, you can use it on the epoxy afterwards. It was worth a test run. It does look different, but it's not better. It's not an improvement. So we can cross that one off the list. Right, so last two things I want to try. This silver necklace that I've got, it's sterling silver. You can see I bunched it up so you can see the discolor in that silver already. And you've seen me make the rings in videos before, but these ring blanks, they arrive pretty scratched from the heavy machinery and where they're just dropped into buckets full of the things, I think. But I want to see if I can get that up to a shine as well. But I'm going to do that off camera. I'm going to do both off camera and then I'll show you. You can see a massive difference from that. It's gone back to looking like new. I'd recommend putting these gloves away with the cleaner and just use these gloves for whenever you're doing it. It can get a little bit messy. I mean, you don't want to see what my trousers look like at the moment. It looks like I got a little bit too excited with the stuff. But here is the ring. I didn't spend too much time on this one. You can still see there's some deep scratches in it, but it has made a little bit of a difference, not much. But the silver came up amazing, so did the hardware. So yeah, I mean, the mold didn't work, but we don't really need it to. If we've got a tarnished mold, we can just use this stuff to polish up our resin afterwards. And it does. It really does work. Right, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll pop the links in the description box below. You've probably got it under your sink anyway. Different video, but I thought I'd share it because that is pretty incredible. Right, see you for the next one. Bye for now.